Hello, my name is Kaylee. Welcome to the tea house. Today we are going to be doing a garden tour. So before I start a little bit about our garden, we started this for the first time this last spring. So new wood, new soil, everything in this area is brand new. So we had a semi-successful year. And we're just going to go through what worked and what didn't work. It is the end of September here in Colorado, so this is definitely the last of the garden. But I am super excited to share it with you, so let's get going. So we have 4 separate garden beds. These last 3 over here are 4 by 6 feet, and this one over here is 3 by 6 feet. That's what we were able to fit into this space. So we had radishes and beets here where the straw mulch is. Those were gone long ago, but we still have some pretty good peppers going. Here's some jalapenos. This is a poblano plant. So we're hoping that those will continue to thrive. And then I moved our sweet peppers over here. I'll be honest, can't remember what these 2 are. This is Lisa pepper. I only got 1. Then we have shishitos and banana peppers right here. I also had radishes in here, but that is all gone. Our last little bit of herbs, this is oregano. On the side, on the edge, on the other side of where the trellises are, we had watermelon here, pumpkin here, and watermelon here. Let me tell you, this is not 3 things that should be grown next to each other. I've learned that. We did end up getting 2 pumpkins and 1 watermelon. The watermelon is long gone. But I have now put Swiss chard in here and baby bok choy. Looks like I have 1 little seedling coming up so far, so I'm excited about that. Over here on the trellis was all cucumbers. So we had a ton of cucumbers, pulled those recently because they were getting kind of bitter, and planted kale. Have a couple weeds, but over here is an entire row of parsley. We use a lot of parsley in our cooking, and then where the mulch is, we had various types of lettuce. Now, pardon my leaf scraps here. I pruned back the tomatoes yesterday, and we'll get to there in just a second. But in this area, again, didn't quite think about it when I was planting things, but I had 3 different kinds of squash. So I have yellow zucchini, which is still going strong. I have a patty pan squash, which I have a couple more coming. They're on their way out. And then in this final area, I had a butternut squash, and we got 1 of those. So I'll show you that when we get inside. And then over here, last but not least, we had our tomatoes. Our tomatoes had a really hard time this year. So like I said yesterday, I actually took off almost all of the foliage to try to get them to ripen. We're not having a good tomato year, but I have 2 inside, so you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I'll be able to get some from the farmer's market, so that we can make some sauce. So and then I recently planted some beans so that when these tomatoes are done, that hopefully we'll get beans before the frost. And then that is another bean plant, and the dog. So finally we go over here. I sprinkled a wildflower packet. Look at that Cosmo. Pretty cosmos. Some bachelor buttons, some, what are those, snapdragons. I have some borage in there. This is my mint pot. I'm actually going to be taking these out and putting them in their own separate pots because they like to try to kill each other. Mint, if you don't know, is a weed, so make sure you always put it in a pot. This side is chocolate mint, and this is ginger mint, and I got those plants started from the nursery. This is thyme that I started this year. I had time here last year, but with the cold freeze, it didn't come back. So last but not least, I want to come over here. This is my tiny itty bitty little flower garden. We have some feverfew, we have some borage, some marigolds, some weeds, snapdragons, some sunflowers. I'm actually saving these sunflower heads. Make sure I don't get stung. I'm going to save the seeds, so that's why I haven't taken those off. More borage coming. So yeah, I had potatoes in these buckets. They did decently. So when we bought this property, these cinder blocks were all the way up by the fence there, pretty much right where those planters are. So we moved this back to here, and then we filled this area with cardboard and mulch. Next year, the goal is to have, I'll come over here, to have bulbs all the way along this cinder block line, and then have flowers on this side. We still have a lot to do to clean up this area and make it usable space. We have a stump there that we need to get rid of, obviously plenty of weeds and those sorts of things. But overall, the amount of progress that has been made in this area in just 1 year is pretty remarkable. So as I mentioned when I was outside, we did get 2 sugar pie pumpkins and 1 butternut squash. So those were harvested yesterday, as well as these 3 very sad looking tomatoes. This one just fell off the plant, so we're hoping that it will ripen, maybe, fingers crossed. So that is my latest harvest. Overall, I am actually really proud of what came out of the garden, being the first year that we have ever gardened in that area. We had multiple heads of lettuce, tons of herbs. We had oregano and parsley primarily, and lots of mint. We also had a little bit of basil, but it didn't really come up. And let's see, we had tons of radishes and beets, and then squash, lots and lots of squash, and lots of pickles. I actually have 4 jars of refrigerator pickles that I made, and I am hoping come fall, when apples come in, I can get a large amount of apples at a good price and can do my first ever canning of applesauce. So I hope that you are able to join me through that. Until next time, thank you so much for joining me on my very sad but very short garden tour to end out the 2021 season. And I hope that you stay around and enjoy some of the other videos that I plan to have on the page. We do lots of cooking, lots of baking, and lots of things around the house. So anyway, I am Kaylee, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye.